Despite the fact that we've had IVF around since the 1980s, for example, in the United States, we have a large number every year of births by IVF, you'll hardly find IVF mentioned anywhere in the Supreme Court's opinions since then. I'm Glenn Cohen. I'm the James Attwood and Leslie Williams Professor of Law at Harvard Law School. I also serve as the Deputy Dean and the Faculty Director of the Petrie-Flom Center for Health Law Policy, Biotechnology, and Bioethics. For the 250th anniversary, I chose an unusual topic, I would say, in part because it's about something that wasn't around 250 years ago, and that is reproductive technologies. I work on very high-tech new reproductive technologies, as well as ones that are now becoming a little bit more traditional, like surrogacy or in vitro fertilization. And one of my goals was to talk about actually a lacuna, an absence, a vacuum in constitutional law, which is the lack of federal constitutional lawmaking on reproductive technologies. Despite the fact that we've had IVF around since the 1980s, for example, in the United States, we have a large number every year of births by IVF, you'll hardly find IVF mentioned anywhere in the Supreme Court's opinions since then. And indeed, when scholars think about the constitutional status of reproductive technologies like in vitro fertilization, as well as newer things like gene editing, for example, or mitochondrial replacement techniques, they are going back to cases that predate the beginning of IVF in the United States, to cases like Griswold, to cases like Eisenstadt v. Baird, these old cases, Skinner, mostly about things like sterilization and contraception, as well as the abortion cases. And of course, we've had a lot of change in abortion law since the Dobbs decision a few years ago. And the result was I was kind of curious as to why there isn't more federal constitutional lawmaking, what we have via state constitutional or state common law lawmaking in this space, and then thinking more generally about what it would mean to take reproductive technologies seriously as a federal constitutional law project. What are the available theories? Where might we go if we were imagining the Constitution?